Hey guys, thanks for joining us again on a nice, cold, fresh morning in Australia, or in the evening if you're in Europe. We're going to recap another massive stage at the Giro d'Italia, and some of Iffy's predictions did come true, believe it or not. I'm your host Dan Jones, joined on the ground, the man, the myth, the legend, John Trevorrow. Now, Iffy did say going into stage 4, he said the old cliche in cycling. You're not going to win the Giro, but you definitely can lose it, and that's what's happened for a couple of the big GC guys.
Yes, it was I'll tell you what, it was an amazing stage in lots of ways. One, we're finally in Italy, Sicily. Some people say it's not Italy, it's more like Africa, and some of the roads are a bit like that. But crowds were enormous. But it was a really winding road. They say when you get twisting and turns, it gets people excited to be aggressive. Well, that's what happened, all right. And the racing was on. But as just for the start, a few of us were talking, and we thought, got more and more thinking that it would be a breakaway that would get let go. And that's exactly what happened.
Now, pre-start, you caught up with Richie Porte. That's a great scalp because obviously from an Australian perspective, everyone wants to know how Richie's going. Given that it'll be his last Giro, this is what Richie had to say.
So here we are around just about to start stage 4, and we've got Richie Porte. What do you think is going to happen today, bud?
Well, who knows? I think could be explosive stage. First day after the first rest day, but hopefully it's a little bit more controlled, and it's not an easy climb. It's not a hard climb either. It's just long. So there's so many scenarios, but whether Mitchelton or Bike Exchange, as they're called now, whatever they want to do, if they want to take the jersey, I guess that's up to them. But Carapaz in good condition. We have a strong team, so I guess we'll just see how it is and maybe take it on.
So just quickly, it's your final year. You're obviously in fantastic form. What is your plan for this Giro? What do you think will be your role?
Well, I'm in good condition. My role here is to really just try and enjoy it, to be honest. It's not the easiest sport to enjoy at the moment, but I think in a few weeks when the race is done, it'd be nice to be able to look back and just enjoyed my race.
Thanks, Richie. Good luck today.
Didn't really answer your question, did it?
I like the finish there. He's a classic character, Richie. He's one of my favourite in the peloton, that's for sure. But they definitely did light it up, the Ineos guys, Iffy.
Well, they did light it up now, and I wonder if it was because Simon Yates had a crash very early, the little village, I think only about 15 kilometres after the start. It was a little bit of a cobble, twisting turn, and he touched down and hurt his knee and had to go back to the car, and all that's going on. And then from then on, Ineos just, hit the front and put the hammer down. Now, I'm not sure whether it was just because of that or that's the way they ride. It is the way they set up their Grand Tours. But, so the break was a large break and got out to over 10 minutes. But from then on, it was mainly Ineos who did all the chasing. And they gradually, they got rid of all their guys. It was just Richie left with Carapaz right at the end. But I can tell you now, Richie is looking very good. So Carapaz is their man, no doubt about that. But I think they're just keeping Richie right there as a just in case type scenario. If something happens to Carapaz, then Richie will be the man. I can actually see him getting on the podium in this Giro. He's got the form.
Now, when we said at the top, there was a few GC guys that can't win the Giro. Obviously, Superman Lopez, he abandoned, so he definitely won't be winning the Giro this year. And he was my tip, so it's probably the worst tip of the year so far because he pulled out very early in the stage. And then obviously Tom Dumoulin, he's out of contention as well, lost a lot of time. And he said after the finish that he simply wasn't feeling good and didn't have the legs.
He was crushed. He was really, really disappointed. He thought he was coming here with a big chance to win. So he was very, very disappointed.
It must be hard for those GC guys when sometimes, they've got the good condition, they've come into the race well, they haven't crashed or whatever, and they just don't have the ability to push into that sort of threshold or find that form when it really counts.
Yeah, I mean, who would know? It's been a strange couple of years for Dumoulin. We've got to remember it's quite a few years now since he won this. I think it was 2017, wasn't it? It's quite a few years back when he won this Giro, the famous crappy win. In other words, he had to go to the toilet and almost lost the bike race at one stage. But he's a class bike rider. He had his issues. He stopped racing. He had depression and gave the sport away, came back, said he was fine, but obviously, things aren't quite right.
And he came back and he got silver medal at the Olympics and had some fantastic results. So hopefully he can come back to top form pretty soon. Now,
a lovely man, absolutely really good human being. It's just a shame to see him suffer like that, but anyway, it's bikes, as they say.
Now, I need to play you another pre-race interview because this guy's a marvel. He just can read a bike race, and that is one of our biggest detour fans. That's Andy Matthews. You caught up with him prior to the start.
A bit of noise here. So here we are at the start line of the big stage to Mount Etna, and we've got one of the Detour's #1 fans in Andy Matthews. Andy, great to see you, bud.
Oh, it's wonderful to be here and a beautiful day after a week of rain in Sicily. The sun's come out for us today.
So I've texted and emailed back and forth with Andy over the years. He's got a young bloke, Robbie, who is living in Maastricht and racing, but it's the first time we've met. And I see you're in a drone hopper, Androni top. Now, of course, as you know, the boss of that, Gianni Savio, is an old friend of mine. So how did that happen?
Robbie gave me this jersey for my birthday, which was a week ago, saying that it would give me instant street cred in Italy. And I was able to go and meet Yanni just now, which was fantastic, and get through a police check just by pointing at the jersey. But everyone assumes because I'm wearing this, I speak Italian. It's not true.
So who's going to win today, mate?
I think it's going to be a break, and I think the smart money is on Lennard Kämna.
Okay, he's going well. All right, great to talk to you, mate.
Thanks.
The guru, Lennard Kämna.
He's the guru.
He called it.
Yeah.
He called it.
Yeah. No, it was a great, and I think that maybe now that I've looked at that, it might have swayed me a bit because when I got asked for my tips only a few minutes later, I was picking Lennard Kämna as well. So I didn't realise it was actually Andy who tipped me that way. Yeah.
Well, looking at the GC standings, you've obviously got Lopez on top. Kämna's behind in 39 seconds. Tarame 58, and then Yatesy's still fourth at a minute 42. And then you've got all your other sort of hitters up there, Kelman, Bardo.
They haven't changed. The GC group come in together, so that the times haven't changed with the main hitters. Which, look, we're just going to hope everything's fine for Simon. Look, I'm sure he will be. Luckily, it's two flat days flattish, nice big lump in tomorrow's stage, but center, it'll be the sprinters controlling this, and everyone's looking forward to the big sprint. I suppose we'll talk about that a bit further.
Yeah, we'll talk after the break
for tomorrow after the break. So we'll go into that, but it was so we were up the road. I had Vittoria, one of the classic DSs of
Vazzy hand out the bottles.
Yeah, there's Vazzy handing out the bottles. We were about 18 kilometres to go on Mount Etna. It was just starting to hot up when they come past us. But we sort of got out of radio range. Our TV stopped working in the car. And we were driving along. We had to go sort of 5 or 6K up the climb before we could get off to head towards the hotel. We didn't even attempt to get up to the finish. But we couldn't. I was ringing a mate in Australia to get some results. He said, "But you're there." I said, "Yeah, but I don't know what's going on, mate." And so mate Lobby was giving me feedback from SBS, and I would now and again get a call through to Catherine at SBS, and she would give me updates as well. So it's funny, you're over here, but sometimes you don't hear or see quite as much as you're sitting at home in the telly.
Oh, it was always the way. I remember what it was like, being on the road at Greenwich. The only time you knew what was going on is you'd have to get down to the bus because, some of those spots, there's just no reception. And then the worst was some days when you went to the bus and there was no TV reception. So then everyone in the team had no idea, and you'd have to wait until the riders come in. You could pretty much tell on their faces if it was a good day or a crap day. But, it's sometimes the logistics are a real pain in the backside. Lincoln Carolyn says, what's the drum on Simon's knee? Where did he come down? I think you covered that before.
He came down just near very early in the stage. And so talking with the physios and that tonight, they said, there's no structure. They checked him out, no structural damage. He's just knocked it around. So he should be fine. But I can tell you, it was a very good ride from Lucas Hamilton and Damien Howson. Now, we've got
an interview with Damien that we're going to play after the break as well.
Yeah, fantastic. But he really did step up, and it was a fantastic ride, which is going to be important. He needs... Simon definitely needs both of those guys to really be riding well to be able to deliver this victory.
Now, Mick's brother Rick says, any luck on the Insta stories iffy? You don't know what Insta stories are. That'd be hard.
I do now because Vazzy tried to do it. It's not, well, today was impossible because we just weren't online. So we'll look at it tomorrow. So brother of Mick, and we'll report. We'll see how we go. It's just, it's very time consuming, evidently, to be able to do that. And with limited internet a lot of the time, it makes it hard. But we'll see how we go.
All right. And Rick says, great interview with Richie. He's a big fan of your work, John. Jan Borman, she doesn't miss anything. She says, guess your luggage has turned up, John. Microphone and headset working well.
Spot on, Jan. Yes, we were very pleased to walk into our rooms and there was the luggage all delivered. So Lufthansa, very, very efficient airline.
Well, and Germans in general, they're efficient. They don't lose stuff. They'd have a system down pat.
Well, they did yesterday. They lost me baggage, but
no, they didn't lose it because you were running late for your flight. That's why.
Well, that was the Lufthansa flight that was running late for the next Lufthansa flight, but it was bad weather. That's right.
Main thing is you got it back. All's well as that ends well. When the soup is good, all is good. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, Iffy caught up with Damien Howson after the finish.
Look at this bike. You think it's just a bike, right? But it's not. It's a bike 374 people are looking at. This guy, this girl, them, all looking at it. People from here, there, and wherever this is. People that are looking for a bike. Or just a piece of it. Amateurs, semi-amateurs, and pro-amateurs. This guy wants this bike, but with this crank and these bars. This could be the perfect match. But not this one. This girl has a bike to sell, and thousands of people might purchase it. Eyes on Bikes help grow small businesses. His, hers, yours, and the latest data and insights help those businesses keep moving. We are the world's #1 bike marketplace, with over 500,000 products and 900 brands, where buyers and sellers are brought together in a place where a bike is never just a bike. Bike Exchange, where the world buys, sells, learns, and rides.
Feel more in every moment. The all-new Lexus NX.
Fun fact, you can make cycling part of your next Let's Go adventure. With a bike, you can enjoy and explore even more places. So, feel the wind in your hair, book a bike, enjoy the outdoors and see more with a Let's Go motorhome today.
Thanks again to Bike Exchange, Lexus at Blackburn, and Let's Go Motorhomes.com.au. Now, I do have one bone to pick with Lexus at Blackburn. I can't get that bloody song out of my head all day. I don't know what it is. It's just like that. Just rings. But as we always say on the show, support companies that support cycling. And, of course, Lexus of Blackburn. Go down and see Andy and the crew down there. lexusofblackburn.com.au. There's the photo there if you're watching on YouTube of the Lexus Blackburn Bay Crits. Fantastic company. And, of course, Let's Go Motorhomes as well. They're a big supporter of cycling and Bike Exchange. Where you're going to get a bike or anything to do with a bike, got to go to Bike Exchange. Iffy.
It's interesting. Let's Go Motorhomes. I mean, the holiday market in Australia has just gone ballistic. And for a while there, you couldn't even get a Let's Go motorhome. They're popular. So Jerry's managed to procure a few more. I think they might be Jayco's.
What are the odds?
Yeah. What are the odds? And so they've got rentals out there for you right now. So they've got a network right around Australia. You can rent one, go right up the coast.
Get on the website and start booking. Because they will,
exactly.
They'll get mopped up again. Because, like my parents, for example, they're going on a 3-month trip around Australia. They didn't get a Let's Go, but there's a lot of people that are going around and traveling. And if you want to do it in style, let's go motorhomes.com.au. Check them out. Now, as we said before the break, Iffy caught up in another big scalp, Damien Howson, after the finish. And here's the interview with the Demon.
So we're back at the hotel after a big stage 4 and about to go to dinner. And one of the rides of the day was by Damien Howson. So tough day in the office, mate.
Yeah, it was. Bit of anticipation around this stage. Obviously, first real GC mix-up within the peloton. And well, if you look at it, we haven't really climbed a mountain longer than 5K in the last maybe 10, 12 days. So bit of anxiety around how everyone's feeling, and myself included. First test. This is the peloton we're going to be spending, the time in for the next 3 weeks. So to see where everyone kind of fits and how everyone's going, it was the first real test today. So other than a few minor bingles out on the stage, everything ran pretty smoothly for us. So we'll take it.
So it must have been a bit of a worry when Damien got caught up in that crash. Simon. That's all. Keep going. so early. A concern, of course.
Yeah, that's the stress of Grand Tour racing, and obviously, so many guys still on GC. This is the first time. Differences can be made. So there was plenty of guys with the dream of putting on a pink jersey at the end of the stage. So it was hotly contested to make the breakaway. We went through a narrow town with some pave on the road, and unfortunately, it was pretty tricky conditions, and there was a bit of a pile up there, and Simon unfortunately came down in it, hit his knee, but we got through the stage without losing any time to his rivals, and we can assess the damage after that. And with what should be 2 sprint stages coming up, there's also time to recover. So, we'll head to dinner knowing that it was a successful day.
So were you surprised that Ineos put so much pressure on for much of the stage?
I think it's pretty typical from Ineos to race that style of race. We had our plan, they've got theirs. Obviously a large group of 12 riders forming the breakaway, strong guys, with the break getting out to a big, 11, 12 minutes, which in modern day cycling generally doesn't happen too often. So, we were happy to let the breakaway contest the stage and take the jersey for one lucky guy out there. It was just a priority for us just to remain calm and get through the day unscathed, and that's Ineos obviously had the plan to potentially at the start to bring back the breakaway for the stage, and Carapaz obviously showed on the finish that he was potentially one of the fastest there in the select group of 15 for the finish with the rivals of Simon. But break had too much time, and they stayed away. So that was what it was.
Well, enjoy dinner tonight, and let's hope for a much less stressful day for tomorrow, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Yeah, no, it's good just to get the GC kind of roughly sorted a little bit. As guys, if you look outside the top 30 already, 6-7 minutes down and more. So everyone now can kind of relax going forward. Not necessarily relax, but there is some form of formation on the GC.
Thanks, Damien.
Cheers.
Damien Howson there. He's a fantastic guy, but what I really like about Damien, we've seen it over the years, he's just one of those reliable lieutenants. I'll never forget the ride he did when Esteban needed to make up a minute 40 on Contador on the penultimate day at the Vuelta. And he pulled that gap back over the descent. And I'd never seen a guy more cooked after his effort, when he literally was wobbling on the road and I thought he was going to pass out. But they're the sort of guys you want in your team. If we talk about all the time about culture, they're the guys that you want because you know what you're going to get out of them.
Just before I forget, because you might have noticed it if you haven't looked at the highlights, but in the last 200 metres, they come around a bend and Kämna and Lopez going for the stage, and Lopez just went from inside. He actually hit the back wheel of Kämna, and how they both didn't go down, I don't know. And Lopez himself, I don't know how he stayed up, but it was close. It was so close.
Well, also there was a crash with the motorbike.
The
technical motorbike, and this constantly pops up in cycling about the amount of
big Roger
support car, Roger Cluey, support cars and motorbikes and stuff in a bike race. But do you find that it's a necessary evil in terms of, like, they're still going to have photographers, they're still going to have technical guys, but a lot of the time it feels like they do get too close?
Yeah, that was a bit different. You can actually, on YouTube, they've actually got it. He hits a bit of road furniture that came out, and the motorbike actually hit that and went down and took the guys down. Yeah, Roger took a while to get going, but anyway, he jumped in the group with Caleb, and they rode through to the stage. Caleb, I thought Caleb was in trouble, actually. One of the few times our TV actually worked in the car, it was just early on. The race was climbing uphill, and there's Caleb out the back, like the first one out the back. I thought, oh, this is not good. But he had bike troubles. He ended up changing a bike, wherever he got going. He was fine. He had no problems at all. Because he's going to, tomorrow is today.
Well, let's have a look at the profile, Stage 5, finishing in Messina. Is that where they do the ice cream? I think there's a Messina.
Yeah, well, Messina is actually where the ferry goes across to the mainland. So we'll be finishing the stage and jumping straight onto the ferry. But it's a big climb. It's a Cat 2, but it's early in the stage, and the sprinters teams will control this. They, the Quick Step and Lotto. They're out for a duel tomorrow. I mean, they're not the only two sprinters in the bike race, but it'll be out of those two for sure. There was I was looking at a really good analysis of the sprint after the stage finish. It was actually Robbie and one of the other ex-sprinters, and they went through the last 2.5K and where everyone was and what happened. And Lotto did stuff up. So tomorrow, before the start, I will be talking with Albie Davis, who is the sprint coach for Lotto, and close, of course, with Caleb, former teammate and sprint rival. We'll catch up with Albie and find out, what he thinks they've got to do to fix their little structural challenge, I guess. It was a pretty tough finish. Talking about 2 days ago, but Caleb, we know how good he is. Him and Cav will be. I'd just like to see them without one being in any trouble. Just the two of them sprinting, bang. Let's see what happens.
Well, I've got other breaking news. I've put the fishing rod out and got a nibble. Sam Bewley, I think, is going to join us for a couple of days starting tomorrow. I've worded him up.
Fantastic.
He's been in the UK, so he's going to give us some rider insights live on the show. But looking at the profile, Magnus Cort could be a good one here, Iffy, because, I mean, it is a long way to go, 75.3 Ks at the top of the climb, and it's 174 to the finish, so it's 100K. But is it too early in the stage to climb to pull a gap and then hold it for so long?
No. It'll be a sprint. Too many teams. The GC guys won't be interested in doing anything. It'll be up to the sprinters. They will come back and that's a decent climb. So Caleb and Cav's not climbing that well, but no, they'll pull it back. And
so, who would your money be on of all the sprinters?
Caleb.
Yep.
Well, I think when everything works, when everything's there, Caleb is the fastest road sprinter in the world. That is my opinion. So, put Phillipson, put them all there. When he's going well, it's easy to say iffy, but even as good as Cav was last year in Tour de France, I have no doubt that the Caleb was going to absolutely dominate that. His form was sensational, but we know what happened.
It's funny with Caleb. You look at his history in Grand Tours. The first 3 to 5 stages, he's sort of still sorting things out, but he finds his sweet spot sort of stage 5 to 13. Once you've got a few stages under the belt, and then once he gets one under his belt, he's unstoppable because the confidence is up. And as you know, in sprinting, if you're riding confident, you're picking the gaps, you're making the right moves, your team's gelling. It'd be interesting. Now, before we wrap things up, obviously I wanted to know all about dinner and the cuisine because you're in Sicily. This is the last day you'll be there, but what was the grub like for dinner, Iffy?
Yes, it was the old, silver service with the big tablecloths and the printed menu with the first, second, and third stage as they do in Italy, it was they're the meals. It was a nice hotel meal. You can go out to restaurants and get some sensational meals. There you go. Gee, Vazzy was on the ball. You've scared him. You've not letting him get away with it.
If you can give us photos, though, that are like on your phone that go like the wide option, like a wide screen, because I want to fill the screen. So if you can give me those wide photos.
You told him that yesterday, didn't he? Didn't he do that? What's he hoping?
Look at this one. It's great, but I need it tilted the other way around because then...
I heard you tell him that yesterday.
He's doing a great job. Now, but I build him up, then he drops down.
Fast asleep behind me. We can take the camera over and wake him up.
He's cooked. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Rick's brother Mick wants to know: do you think Kämna pulled his brakes at the end?
No.
And then
it was completely Lopez's fault.
Rick also reckons if Caleb had Morkov, he would be unbeatable. He's obviously a key guy in the sprint train.
But Cav hasn't got his. Caleb hasn't got his normal lead-out man here either, which makes it a little bit harder. Look, they just stuffed up yesterday. I'm sure we'll see a different scenario tomorrow. Tomorrow for me, today for you.
Yep, and I'm sure you're going to get some gold on the ground there at the Giro, mate. I know SBS have been loving your stuff, so you've got to hold the momentum now. As I said, it's a marathon. You're doing a great job. You got to just keep staying focused, keep getting in there, keep getting the scoops.
One bad day and you'll be giving it to me, I know.
Oh, that's right. I'm hot on your tails. YouTube.com/The Detour Podcast. Tell your mates, and if you are on Apple iTunes, leave a rating and a review. Please make it 5 stars. Look after a couple of Aussie battlers. 7 a.m. Australian Standard Time each stage for the Giro. We're going to be live. And as I said, I've lined up Samuel Bulai for tomorrow, so he'll give us some good insights as well.
Looking forward to that.
Anything you want to throw out there before we go, Johnny?
Just that I am really looking forward to having a drive of Lexus 300e electronic whiz when I get back from the Giro. So Andrew is, I think, game enough to let me pitch one out for a day or so. I'm looking forward to it.
You need to get on to about the LX range, mate. I was talking about that yesterday.
I know.
That is the creme de la creme of luxury.
That looks fantastic. Well, I had a quick drive of the lead car at the Bay Crits last January, and wow, I was impressed.
Yeah. All right. Well, stay tuned for more detour tomorrow, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you then.